It's Brian Soscia. On the line, we have Chris Jericho. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm just happy to have WCW, WWE, ECW, international star, best-selling author, game show host, radio show host, regular on VH1's Best Week Ever, the guy that Mick Foley never beat, the first ever undisputed champion, the Halcyon Bowling champion, rock star, and all-around swell fella, Chris Jericho.
Dude, that was a hell of an intro. You forgot musical chairs champion, though. That's the big one for me.
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate you coming on today. I know you're doing a lot of media stuff. I saw that on your Twitter. That's crazy, man. Long day, huh?
Yeah, well, actually, it started yesterday. I mean, actually, the whole tour is going to end up being a little bit over 2 weeks long. But it's important. I mean, you spend a lot of time in writing a book like I did, and you want people to know that it's out there, and you want people to check it out. So I don't mind it, you know. And actually, I think this is interview, I've been keeping track, interview number 15 that I've done so far today.
Oh, great.
So,
well, at least you're still laughing.
Yeah, you got to, man. You know, so I'm excited. This is the fun part for me. After, like I said, putting so much time and effort into writing the book and getting it exactly the way I wanted it, and then getting a chance now to talk about it and hear people's reactions, that's the fun part.
We're talking about Undisputed, how to become world champion in 1,372 easy steps. Although, you know, the title's not that easy to say. How'd you come up with that title?
Well, I mean, it actually does have a meaning. I've kept track of every match that I've ever had since I started, and it took me 1,732 matches.
You mean 1,300?
I'm sorry, see, I don't even know. I'm dyslexic. It took me 1,372 matches before I became the world champion. That was the match where I won the title.
Nice, creative. See, that's the thing about you. I think I admire it, and a lot of other fans admire it. Your creativity, and honestly, the way you write is just awesome. I remember back in the day, I've been a fan for years. Your website, chrisjericho.com, the way you used to write your blogs, I don't think a lot of other people were doing it at the time, but they were so like creative and just, you know, a fun read. And not only that, it's just like I feel like you're before your time. I was talking to a friend saying, I'm going to interview Jericho. This would be cool, you know, and he was sharing a story with me how I think it was like, what, Halloween Havoc maybe 97? Top rope Frankenstein are going wrong. You landed on your neck. Everyone was worried. My friend said he emailed you and like, boom, right away from your website that you were right back to him. A little before your time with the social networking, you know?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I remember, I think I had one of the first websites, period. I think we started it in December of 97. And, I mean, the Internet was just so archaic back then, like this strange new world. And I remember the first time I got an email from someone in Yugoslavia. Like, I had this thing called Web TV, and it was just a keyboard that you hook up to your TV, and that helps you get online. And I just couldn't believe, like, I was literally, to this day, like, wow, somebody in Yugoslavia. And so I was always kind of really interested in the whole, you know, social network and all that sort of thing, and realizing how important it was. Even Twitter, I mean, I just love the whole concept of Twitter, and I wish they would have had this, you know, 25 years ago when I was a kid, you know, to find out what, you know, David Lee Roth was eating for breakfast. I would have loved it. You know, so I really take advantage of it. And people who say, well, I don't even go on the Internet stuff, I mean, they're just being stupid because it's the way of the world nowadays. And it's really cool because you get a chance to instantly get the feedback from people. Like, you know, Undisputed has been out for a couple days now, and to read people's thoughts about it instantly, it's invaluable. Like I said, to know what people are thinking about what I'm doing professionally. I mean, I do care what fans think, and this gives me the chance to, I mean, within reason, but gives me the chance to really hear that up close and personal quickly.
Yeah, I am Jericho on Twitter. There's your and there's like two I am Jerichos. It's all screwed up, but I know the one's fake.
No, L M Jericho. I got rid of that guy. You know, like a small L.
Oh, is that what it was?
Like a capital I. Yeah, there's jackasses all the time. Like, really, do you not have anything else to do than pretend you're me? Like, what a stupid thing that is.
Yeah, it's like dopey. I never really got that. I never understood why people would do that. The book you're on here talking about today is Undisputed, How to Become a World Champion in 1,372 Easy Steps. And focusing on the book, I thought a couple interesting things when I got my advanced copy of it that I read. One of them was that you and China, when you did the feud, you really didn't get along too well.
Yeah.
She seemed like she had a bit of an attitude towards you. And then it was what? I think it was Armageddon 99 when you had that match with her. But then you're called in the next day, and Vince just proceeds to just rip you up and make you feel terrible. And then to make matters worse, the next day, you read a blow-by-blow account of all this in the dirt sheets. Do you think maybe Vince was just trying to motivate you to do better and even fed that story out to the dirt sheets?
Well, I mean, I talk about it later on when I was kind of asking about it, because that really caught me off guard. Like I said, I walked in there thinking he was going to give me a pat in the back for a great match with China, which wasn't easy. And then, you know, to get the opposite, and also, you know, to have him say, you know, your contract isn't worth the paper it's printed on. I wanted to try and get to the bottom of that, and actually Bret Hart said that something similar had happened to him when he first started working for Vince, and that Vince was like a drill sergeant who wanted to tear you down and build you up in his own image. And over time, I realized that I'm not sure at that point if Vince felt this way, but some of the stuff that he did or said to me over the years, he did care about me as a performer and did think I could offer him something special, and as a person as well. And I think he really did put a lot of time and effort into the whole Jericho persona by trying to light a fire under my ass, so to speak. That day, though, I'm not sure. I don't know if he wanted that released. I don't know how it got on the internet. I just know I was mortified when I read it. So
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was terrible because I spent 9 years. I mean, if you read A Lion's Tale, you know that my whole mission in life was to work for the WWE. And after like 9 weeks, I was sitting in his office basically being threatened of being fired that quickly. And I was thinking, it's not supposed to be this way. And that's why I think Undisputed is getting such great reviews, because this dream came true, but it was more of a nightmare. It was not what I was expecting, and I wasn't prepared for it. So I really had to hit the ground running and change quickly, or else, I was ready to get, to become yesterday's news, and I wasn't ready to accept that.
Well, Chris, on another front there, too, I mean, first of all, Lion's Tale is great. Go out and get it. I don't even know where to tell people to go because I want you to get the most money. Is it Amazon? Should they go to a bookstore? Where should they go to buy the book? Undisputed or Lion's Tale?
Yeah, you can go anywhere, man. I mean, I just checked this morning, and it's number 63 overall on Amazon, which is huge for me. And the official publishing date release date is tomorrow, but books, they're pretty much out everywhere now. So
all right.
You can find them where fine books or not so fine books are sold.
It's a fine book. It really is. I'm a little bit into them. It's like chapter 6 right now. And, you talked about your problems you had a little bit earlier in your career with having massive heat with the locker room. And Triple H is a person who I'm interested in talking about. Vince is going to be stepping down. He's getting older, or whenever that happens. And a lot of people seem to think that Triple H is going to be the guy, that's in charge, running the company.
Well, I mean, time moves on. Somebody's got to take over. And I don't think it's going to be the same thing. I mean, Vince is the boss. Vince is the creative genius. I mean, I respect Vince more than almost anybody, with the exception of my own father, because he really is a genius. When Vince steps down, which AKA when he dies, I think you'll have more of a committee situation of Triple H and Stephanie and a couple of other higher-ups there, because you can't just say, you're going to be the new boss, and that's the way it's going to be, because, you can't buy that. Vince is the boss. Respect is earned, not given. And you can't appoint this guy who's going to be the new CEO. And you can, but I think it's going to be a different vibe. And I think it'll be more of a committee situation, which, Vince is one of a kind. You can't replace a guy like Vince. You got to do the best you can. So find people that are close. But Vince is Vince, man, and he's got that special something that few people in the history of the planet have had.
Another guy that's kind of like that, performance-wise, is The Rock. I guess every radio show in the world today is talking about that with you. Oh, how about The Rock coming back? Great last night, but I don't really want to focus on that. I want to focus on something you said I thought was interesting in your book, Undisputed: How to Become World Champion in 1,372 Easy Steps. You said you were having a rough time and you went in to talk to The Rock, and The Rock kind of told you, hey man, relax, I was in the same boat, and basically took care of you and made you feel a little better. I had Wade Barrett on here a couple weeks ago, and he said during NXT, when he was your rookie, he just said how great you were. How said you didn't have to do that show, and you made everything mean something, and how much it meant to him, that you just took him under your wing and helped him out a lot. I mean, The Rock kind of helped you feel a little better. You're helping Wade a little bit. Is that something you learned from veterans when you were coming up to help the new guy?
Not really. I think that when I came into the business, guys weren't like that. I mean, when I worked in WCW, I never got any help from anybody. Okay. Flair was nice, and Arn Anderson was nice, but they didn't go out of their way to really help. It just was a different vibe back then. Guys were always afraid of, quote-unquote, their spot. And even in the early days of WWE, I write about that in Undisputed. For me, I overcame so much and went through so much, nobody will ever take my spot. I don't have to worry about anybody. And when somebody comes in, and my job was anything that's associated with me, I want it to be the best thing on the show. And I was lucky that I got Wade Barrett, because he was so developed and had such a great presence and such a great promo skills and all that sort of thing. But I wouldn't have cared if he was the worst. If he's associated with Chris Jericho, it's my job to make him the best thing on that show. And that's what I went out to do, and he was very respectful, and it wasn't hard. I mean, Wade was definitely ready to be on the show instantly. And once again, Vince came up with the whole Nexus genius angle, which was amazing. But like I said, it was my job to do that, and I always do my job, and no one's going to hurt me. And I didn't have to do the show. Well, I did, because Vince wanted me to do it. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it 100%. It's the same thing with everything I do, whether it's wrestling, whether it's Fozzy, whether it's writing a book. If Chris Jericho is involved, you know that I'm going to do everything in my power to make it the best possible thing that it can be.
Oh, yeah, totally. And it shines through in your book, too, Undisputed: How to Become a World Champion in 1,372 Easy Steps. So definitely pick it up. I'm telling you, it's a good read. I love it. Chris, thanks for joining the Soscia Network. And I just want to let you know, I'm going to tweet you this interview so you can retweet it so everyone can hear it. And we're going to be huge superstars. So you're going to make me a star. It's going to be great. So thank you to Chris Jericho.
You just used the force on me. Yes, I will, Brian.
That's why I did it. There he is. Chris Jericho. Thanks, bro.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's very cool. Very cool to talk to you.
One more time, the book, Undisputed, How to Become World Champion in 1,372 Easy Steps, in bookstores, online now. Thanks again, man. I'll catch up with you.
Thanks, man. Talk to you soon.
See you, brother.